of the cell. This is what it's all about. Cell biology, the cell, the nucleus, the chromosomes, breaking it down, and you can see on almost like a musical fashion, the DNA and the RNA, playing its tune. And the next slide, please. Some of these genetic conditions are easily identifiable, like Down syndrome and thalassemia, but some are rare diseases and need a lot of further investigations to make a diagnosis. Next. So we need to have a multidisciplinary approach, and that's what we have been doing at our institute. And you can see that my diaries is still flowing there. We make notes. I've been doing that for the last 50 years, and I'm still making notes of every case that we have. And the next slide, please. So genetics indeed, as we have said, has been the past, is the present, and is the future of medicine. And as I said, if you don't know your genetics today, you're not going to be knowing your medicine and the future of medicine. Okay, to make a good genetic diagnosis, you don't need to be a rocket scientist. You need to be like this gentleman, whom we all know, who used his senses, which you have been endowed with, the sense of smell, hearing, vision, and came to a diagnosis. And indeed, what the mind does not know, the eye does not see. And the next slide, please. I just want to dwell for just a few seconds on this disorder, which is thalassemia, on which I have been working for the last more than 35 years. This is a blood disorder which is very common in our country. 10,000 thalassemics are born every year in our country, and it's quite despicable that for the last more than 20, 30, 40 years, nothing has been done into it by us, by the health services. But we are going to be starting a genomic thalassemic center at our institute. One thalassemic is born every hour. By the time we finish this session, one thalassemic will be born. And the next slide. We cannot forget, when we are talking about genetics, about this little creature. This mouse is responsible for everything that we have done in research in genetics. And to pay homage to the mouse, a Russian genetic center has actually put up a big statue of the mouse with playing around with the DNA. Next slide. And can you go on further, please? And though we talk about next generation sequencing, and we talk about the future of gene therapy and CRISPR-Cas9, and we have new goals that we are going to be chasing. For goodness sake, let us not forget. For goodness sake, let us not forget. Go back to that slide, please. That we should not let the good old clinician rest in peace. It's all about good clinical medicine. And therefore, it's nice to be updated about gene therapy, but let the clinician be the soul of the whole project. And finally, before I close, may I have the last few slides. As we move from ohm to genome, we realize that it's all in our genes. But I want you to know that even genome has ohm very outstandingly among in its and let's not forget to give nature its due. And I'd like to end with this slide to say that the moon taught me it's okay to go through phases. But the sun taught me that no matter how many times you go down, to keep rising. Thank you. I think there's one last slide that says that, and therefore, you must always believe in the sun as it always comes back. The reason I'm saying this is, let's be futuristic and let's think positive for the future. Thank you very much, sir.